Man, oh man.
Hey, let me just say before we go and talk about the game, if that type of effort is going to be Celtics basketball this year, I'm beyond excited. Obviously, winning is more important, but I did like the effort tonight.
So the Boston Celtics fall to the New York Knicks 138-134 in a double overtime absolute thriller. Now, we are waiting for Seamus and Ian to join us. We started just because we got a lot to talk about. So we're going to wait for them to really get into it. I mean, what
for the people wondering why we're like smiling and stuff, because the Celtics really had no business being in the position they were in.
First off, Jaylen Brown, amazing effort for a guy that just got over COVID, right? For him to come out and do that, much props to him. Jason Tatum isn't going to be playing that bad every single game this season.
God, I hope not.
Yeah, I know. And so, and like we said, there's a couple missed dunks down at the end of the, Schroeder missed a fast break layup. Brown is tired, doesn't get up high enough, misses the dunk. So, yeah, it sucks opening night. I would have loved to win that game. But, it happens. It's a game where, I think the turnovers, we kind of let them back into the game. The turnovers killed us. I want to hear what you guys have to say, though, so load up the chat with your thoughts on tonight's game. Boston Celtics do fall to the New York Knicks 138-134 in an overtime thriller, guys. That was it was a potential for a game of the year right off the bat. I mean, Jason Tatum was super disappointing. Completely agree. Like I said, while we were waiting for Seamus and Ian, let's just hear what you guys have to say. Now, I have this question for you, Justin.
Yeah.
Obviously,
this is like the old days.
I know. So, obviously, no Horford, no Richardson, right? You think if one of those two were here, you ought to think we win that game, right?
I think it gives us obviously a better shot at winning the game. Something I noticed tonight, and we'll get into it, but there was a lot of defensive.
They got lazy.
And not to single out Tatum, but when he's your star player, you expect him to play like a star player on both ends. I think the Celtics played lackadaisical defense, to say the least.
Seamus.
Seamus. What's up, Seamus?
Oh my! I'm coming out of a coma. You guys,
yeah.
We're gonna get into it, but I think if you're gonna be concerned about anything, I think it would be, there was a lot of defensive lapses tonight by everyone, not just by Tatum, not just by Grant, not just by Marcus. Everyone played a role in a defensive lapse tonight, and that hurt the Celtics tremendously. Hence why Evan Fournier went on to score 32 points. I mean, Christ, I don't know why he didn't do that in the 3 months he was with the Celtics, but, you figure, it happens. Like you said, Rob, you missed a couple of dunks, layups, fatigue got ahead of them, it happens.
Yeah, so something I want to point out, obviously, right, is it was just a poor shoot. I mean, Jason Tatum shot 7. This was 7 for 30. This was probably the worst game I've seen Jason Tatum play in a couple years, right? So
it's been a while.
And you think about that. You think about Horford and Richardson out of the lineup. The mere fact that we managed to stay within 4 points, right? I think Schroeder was great. He did shoot 5 for 16. I would have liked to see more efficient scoring. He struggled down the stretch. I think everyone got tired. We ran a short man rotation, but someone who I want to talk about, and I know Ian's not here for it yet, but Grant Williams. I mean, wow.
Applaud Grant.
Yeah, I think we all three, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if we don't have Grant Williams in the game, we're not in it. Really,
not at all.
And I mean, 15 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists, along with a steal and a block, 6 for 9 shooting, 3 for 5 from beyond the arc. I mean, he's stepped up. And, Grant Williams really contributed. So, all my Grant Williams banter and bashing I've done in my life, I got nothing for him to say. Clean slate for Grant. But something I do want to talk about, guys, is I think, is a question for concern was Peyton Pritchard and Aaron Nesmith performance.
I'm not so concerned about Pritchard, if I'm being honest with you. It happens. It really does. I think that mask bothers him. I don't care what he says. Right now, I'm sitting here and I noticed he struggled. I don't think he had really any right. I think that Dennis Schroeder was a better matchup. I think hence why Dennis Schroeder played later on in the game. Aaron Nesmith kind of looked a little shaky. These guys didn't play that. How many minutes did they play? Do we know off our top of our heads? Between 11 and 15.
Played, but
they both played 11 minutes, like identical. 11 minutes and 18 seconds for both of them.
See, so, okay, so that's not that much. 11 minutes off the bench, especially when you're running a short man rotation and you went into double overtime. Mm-hmm. So realistically, the Celtics really went. I mean, they technically went, 9 guys deep. But technically, I mean, you're looking at consistently 7-man rotation in a double overtime game. Bruno Fernando, Sam Hauser, Hernan Gomez, Canner, Parker, Thomas, who are all active tonight, did not play. Coach's decision.
So,
yeah, I mean, I didn't think that was like a playoff game, quite honestly. It felt like a playoff game. I mean, in moments, like, you can't even bring some of these guys off the bench. Like, Nesmith, for as good as he looked over the offseason, I thought Romeo was definitely more poised tonight.
Oh, he was so fluent.
I know, he was great. But Nesmith definitely looked a little hectic, definitely looked like he had more of that, wild horse kind of, thing going on, and that was going on in his rookie year. I don't know where he goes from here, but like I just felt like those young guys, like I felt like Pritchard and even like Grant Williams in overtime, Grant Williams and Nesmith, like you couldn't have them out there in this game just because the crowd was just so into it, and it's easy for young players to get rattled.
So yeah, it happens.
Something I noticed was, I agree, they had something they haven't ran into really is they had those 2-3 game stretch in the postseason against the Nets where they had a kind of a packed arena. But you made a great point. I mean, they, especially Nesmith and Pritchard, have not been in an environment like that ever. Like never. They've never been playing in an environment like that, and it really showed tonight because they couldn't handle the pressure. Like I said, Grant Williams. I mean, oh my! You never think that we had a problem with him. I mean, he played great. Out of the 4 of them, Grant played the best. The 4 young guys. I stand by it. If we have Horford, we win this game. No question about it.
Just Horford, like a normal Tatum.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I mean, totally.
Like a non-7 of 30 Tatum, I think we definitely win this game.
And that's not really discrediting the Knicks, by the way. This isn't us being salty or anything. Like both teams legitimately played well, but the Celtics clearly, it showed their lack of depth tonight.
I think the what it comes down to is the fact that Evan Fournier managed to score 32.
Mm-hmm.
I think that killed us. I didn't
see the numbers yet, but I was like, he had to get.
So my thing is in that overtime matchup, all right, start of it, Brown was hitting everything, Smart was hitting everything, but we couldn't get stops on the defensive end. We were getting lazy. We kept going under those Fournier screens, and that really killed us.
That was what killed the Celtics, and that was all game long. Unfortunately, good thing, Celtics stay consistent. Bad thing, it was consistently bad. The Celtics went under every screen, and they'd switch. So now, how many times, if we went back and watched film, how many times a point guard switched on to Mitchell Robinson and or Julius Randle, and they scored in the post? We couldn't count. It's more than our fingers and toes combined. I'll tell you that much right now. That was a big problem tonight. Going under every single Fournier screen, Evan Fournier made them pay tonight.
Yeah, totally. I mean, at the end of the day, listen, what I saw was a basketball team that really hasn't played a lot with each other, right? Mm-hmm. The New York Knicks looked solid. I think switching Robert Williams onto Julius Randle completely shifted the game. Robert Williams is someone I want to get into really quick. But like I said, I think as soon as we kind of stopped and contained Randall, we went on that 10-0 run to end the fourth quarter, which was huge. So much props goes to Robert Williams. 16 points, 10 rebounds, 3 assists, 3 steals, 5 blocks on 5 for 5 shooting. I mean, the man really, really went out there and carried the load, defensively and I'd say offensively too. So, what do you guys think of Robert Williams' performance?
Huge.
I mean, it was certainly better than what we saw in the preseason. I mean, the team completely utilized him how you'd visualize him being utilized in the offense. And something to be said about what he did down the stretch with Randall. I mean, the game, as you said, completely shifted, and you're completely right. Like Randall against Grant Williams, Grant Williams, he's a big physical guy, but he's nothing to match Randall, especially with the amount of skill Randall has. But once Robert Williams was put on Randall down the stretch, there were some possessions where Randall definitely had his moments of just overpowering him or, just being completely more skillful or just more quick. But Robert Williams did, he gave as much effort as he possibly could, which I really can't say for the rest of the team on defense tonight. And it really paid dividends to what happened down the stretch and ultimately bringing them into double overtime. It's a crushing loss, but, a million positive things can be taken out of what we saw.
Yeah, and as Ian joins us here, now we're just talking about right now, the rough night for Boston overall, rough Boston sports night.
Oh, please don't bring up what's on Seamus's head. Please don't bring up. Please, night, but, please don't bring up the Red Sox.
So, Ian, what are your takeaways from this game? Obviously, you just joined in. We've given us a couple of our takeaways. What did you get out of this game?
That was probably the most depressing way to lose the game of the year I've ever seen. Like, Jesus Christ, those two missed layups, that missed dunk, and Tatum shooting 7 of 30 from the field. Like, I don't even know. That was just, I don't even know what to say. Like, I can't even be mad because it was such a good game, but at the same time, I can be mad because of all the problems that the Celtics had.
This is where this team just shed me last season, because now it's like, man, I feel like I enjoy good games now, just good games in period now.
I feel like I can handle them better.
So terrible.
Yeah, I feel like we can handle them better.
I'm used to it. It's just like it literally gave me like PTSD from last year. Like, this is a way last year's team would have lost a game.
Because
double overtime.
My thought.
True, they wouldn't have made it to double overtime.
I don't even think they would have.
Yeah, this would have been a game we would have gotten blown out by 30. I think. Because last year's team, if Tatum's having the game he's having, you're losing by 40. Obviously, Jaylen Brown.
This game kind of reminded me of that. Yeah, this game kind of reminded me of that New Orleans game from last year. Remember that game where they went into overtime and it was like a primetime game? Like, that's what this game kind of reminded me of.
And like I said, you're missing Al Horford.
That's a B, bro.
You're missing Al Horford and Josh
That's a B.
So, and we talked about Grant Williams, Ian, and he missed it. But, Grant stepped up and played Al Horford's role almost. I mean, like I said, 15, 5, and 4. Those are Al Horford numbers. So, but I think not having Richardson really hurt us on the defensive end. You throw him on Fournier, and you ought to think that doesn't happen, right?
My biggest problem with what we did with Fournier in overtime, like, it felt like we never went over the screen.
Yeah, it's because
we literally – there was that play where Rob moved back. Jaylen Brown was just hugging Julius Randle for the longest time. And then they just let him shoot a wide open 3. Like, what the hell are you guys doing?
Dude, there were like 2 or 3 times where Tatum didn't even bother to sprint out.
Don't even
to
get
the
me
line.
started with Tatum.
Or he didn't even fight over any of the screens that came his way. He would go.
Tatum thought he was LeBron, just being able to stand next to the defender and not do anything, and then shoot 7 of 30. And what did he shoot? Hang on, I have the stats.
Yeah,
7 of 30 from the field, and 2 of 15 from 3.
Right, I got a question for you guys.
I've never seen Ian be like this before. This is hilarious.
So I got a question.
So annoyed, dude.
Was this Jason Tatum's worst game of his career
that I can remember?
Because I think
I remember he shot 1 of 18 one time and he lost us that game. But
who was that against?
But we
won that game, didn't we?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Seamus is lagging.
Seamus is lagging, but
real quick, guys, if you're watching and if you're joining us on this Insta or YouTube live, sorry, drop your questions, your C's questions. We want to answer them. We're looking forward to seeing what you guys have to, thoughts on the game. Like we said, it was quite a way to open up, the 2021-2020 season. Jaylen Brown puts up a career high 46. Julius
Oh my
Randle
God.
responds with 35.
I want to 100% apologize to Jaylen Brown on behalf of Jason Tatum for ruining his career game. That was just Jaylen Brown played absolutely amazing.
Listen to this. Jaylen Brown got me 83 points in fantasy, and Robert Williams got me 67.
Don't bring up fantasy, dude. I have those two in fantasy too, but like, it just kills me.
That's insane.
Why?
It kills
Why
me.
does it kill? Why?
Because we should have.
I had Kemba Walker in fantasy too.
I think Seamus said it best. What was it at halftime? I think, how mad can you really be? Because like.
Because they got us fantasy points.
No. Sorry, because like Tatum literally played a top 3 worst game in his career. Like we had no business being in that game, and we managed to scrap. Justin, you made a good point. Like at least the hustle's there. I think last year's team they fold, right? So the hustle's there. You can see Imi's presence is definitely felt. I think they got to do something about the turnovers, though. The turnovers are just killing us.
Like I said, though, in the preseason, that's gonna happen. Like that, it'll happen. Like unfortunately, it'll happen. That's not like I'm voting for there to be turnovers. I don't think it's something you fix like that. I think you kind of it's like you got to get used to it a little bit. The flow. I think I don't want to call him Marcus Smart here, but Marcus Smart did take a few crazy shots. He made a couple. He made a few.
Marcus got into a mode where like anytime he touched the ball, he would just shoot it.
Yeah, that. And
he did hit the biggest 3 though.
Yes, he did.
He did hit the biggest 3, and I'm not taking that against him.
I don't know. Well, obviously he hit the most clutch 3, but like Jaylen Brown, did you guys think that was going in when he shot from like 30 feet?
No, that reminded me of the Rockets game.
Yes,
remember that Rockets game that was on ABC? And he hit a shot like that into overtime?
Yeah,
that reminded me of Lillard.
Yeah, Brown was
honestly, yeah.
Brown was it. But can we talk about that missed Jaylen Brown dunk?
No.
Like
no.
What do you want to talk about it? Like
no.
Or how about the Dennis? So like you got to think Schroeder makes that layup, Boston goes up 4 or 3 at the time.
We could have been up by 8 by the time that Julius Randle got that and won.
Jaylen Brown gets the steal, right, to put us up by 5, misses the dunk. They go down, finish a layup. That's a 4 points.
You know what we're not talking about? The poor free throw shooting. The free throw shooting was horrid tonight.
But that's something like we from the 3 we shot well from 3, but like we played a bad game and we lost by 4 in double overtime. And you look at the Knicks, I consider the Knicks to have played a good game. They shot 48% from the floor, 39 from beyond the arc. They struggled from the free throw line. They had 17 turnovers, but like I think overall the Knicks played a good game and the Celtics played a bad game.
Well, that's perfect moving forward then for us because, look at the outcome. 4 points in overtime. Like if we get Richardson back, if we get Horford back, and obviously if Noel and Gibson play too, it adds a whole new dynamic to the game as well. But like once we get those guys back, some people were talking about our depth tonight, and that was kind of a fair concern because we did play Pritchard and Nesmith 11 minutes. I know we're expecting a little bit more out of Nesmith, but we already talked about they didn't look that great, and our depth was a little sus. Like Grant Williams out there, he was good tonight, but he was a little sus at times, like no doubt. And
Julius Randle.
He struggled on Randle. He struggled on Randle for sure.
It's because he was winded by the other night for me when he locked down out of bio. He was just trying to.
He was winded from a preseason game.
I don't want to hear it. It counts.
I think the adjustment.
It counts for Grant.
Wait, hang on. Did you guys ever talk about Romeo Langford and how well he did?
We did.
Okay.
Well,
we were too busy making TikToks.
Hey, I gotta give the people what they want.
He's a man of the people.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I know, I'm a man of the people.
So, but something I think like the reason why we were even in that game was the Emi, adjustment on Randle. I think that should have been made probably at halftime. It was when Robert Williams should have been switched on to Julius Randle.
Yeah.
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 I mean,
That's
yeah.
pretty much
It
it.
came late. It came pretty late too.
But that
Came
also,
before.
like, you got to think if you have Horford, that matchup's not a problem.
You guys have the best comments, by the way. You guys are hilarious.
Why is everyone? People see the comments? I can't see them.
Don't sleep
I
on
don't- you
Grant
can't see him
Williams
on the
stepping
side.
up with threes, but he was getting the Rucker Park treatment for Brandon.
Oh yeah, for sure. How many points did Randall have, Tim, tonight?
35.
He had 35, and Evan Fournier had 32.
Dude,
I don't
can we
wanna-
talk about
yeah,
Evan
see,
Fournier?
no, we
This
really
man
can't talk
played a
about
whole-
Evan Fournier.
half a season with Boston, right? It does nothing. Sucks for
I don't even
us.
think he had 32 points like across every game he played.
Yeah, this man in our season opener, right, for us, his debut with us, he went 0 for 11 with like 0 points. He comes out with 32 for New York.
You know what I hated the most is all the celebrities that were there because they were so hyped up about the Knicks. But didn't Spike Lee say like last year or something that he was just not going to go again?
Yeah, because of the
something like
thing
that.
where he tried to go through the employee entrance, and
Yeah,
he
that's
got
true.
caught. Hey, I'll settle for 80, 81 and 1. We're also on pace for 80, 0 and 82, so it is what it is.
Yeah.
Celtics are
All
36 and 37 in their last 82 games, by the way, 83, whatever the math is. Just saying.
73?
73, yeah. Just throw that out there. So we're on the crap end of the 500 record. Kemba and Fournier both played better than they ever did in Boston. Fournier definitely.
I mean, Kemba
did.
wasn't amazing. Kemba
Yeah,
was okay.
I think, Kemba kind
Kemba was the whole reason why
Can-
this game
can-
even went into overtime in the first place.
Can I just say, every time the Knicks even did the smallest thing, like a jab step or something, the Knicks
their
crowd would
crowd,
go nuts. Like,
Oh my god,
like,
that was so annoying.
dude, it was a jab step. I don't want to
Ooh.
hear it.
Yeah, but it's been like a
We had a
decade since
million
they've seen
cases.
like legitimately good basketball in that stadium. So I think
So-
St. John's is probably the best basketball they've had there.
Hey, shout out St. John's.
Yeah.
I know I had to, Rob. Oh, Rob, should
What's
we
up?
drop like your Cash App or something? I heard you. Did you win that bet, or should we drop your Cash App or something so we can help
let
Rob?
me take you through my native betting. So this
This
is what
is
happened.
so dumb, by the way.
So
Wait. This is gonna be great.
So for any of your sports bettors out there, right? Don't do what I did. So
This is perfect.
to start the night off, I
Bet responsibly.
took the Boston Celtics money line and I put $100 down, right? So
And
we
that was his
lost,
first mistake.
So I lost $100, but
At MSG.
yeah, all right.
At
But hear me out.
MSG
So hear me out.
against
But
Kemba.
then I put down another 50, which I won. I won this one.
Jesus Christ,
I
Rob.
won this one, right?
Yeah.
On Jaylen Brown over for points, over for 3-pointers made, Robert Williams over for rebounds. So that hit. I won $150. But during the game, my roommate and I were watching, and we put $50 down, but every OT we doubled it. So I lost $200.
So you literally.
So yeah, I'm $150 down right now.
Well, no jersey giveaways anytime soon.
I
Yeah. So
If someone knows a good place to get like a giant pack of ramen so that Rob can eat for the next month,
Robbie
that'll be.
Dash Venmo, Robbie Dash 18 on Venmo if you're
That is awful, Rob.
I know.
Are you
Yeah, I
kidding
know.
me? You're the type of person to bet on Robert Williams over 5 3-pointers. Like,
No, dude, the best part is I was this close to betting over on Grant Williams points.
You should have, honestly. What was his over? Was it
oh
like?
my!
It was 4.5.
It had to be like 5.
Oh, you would have won that bet.
4.
Yeah.
My
The one we
phone
bet
died.
I-
But
Hey, Patriots play the Jets on Sunday.
Yeah, well, we play New
Anything-
York.
Yeah,
Let's see
well,
how that-
we lost. We completed like the quintuplet of losing. We lost to the Cowboys.
Bruins
We lost
lose?
to the Astros. The Bruins lost 6-3 to the Flyers after they came back 3-1
oh my
down.
god!
And now the Celtics lose in double overtime. Like Jesus Christ.
All right, what was
That's rough. This is rough. This is a rough period. Like everyone's just
This
like
is
"Yeah,
this is mo- this
sports is
this whole
on."
live
We're
stream
just-
turned into like a coping session for.
Well,
Ridiculous.
what's it supposed to be when we lose in double overtime to the Knicks?
Grant
I
Williams
hate
at
the Knicks,
15?
Evan
That was more of an
Fournier,
insult
Evan
like 3 years
Fournier.
ago.
But it's
Yeah.
still
Can we-
bad. Like,
Can we talk about though, like
it's the Knicks. It's the
like,
Knicks. Like they're better, but they're still the Knicks.
Brown shot 16 of 30 from the field. Like on a serious note, like that's pretty damn efficient. And then
That's
8
very
of 14, and then 8 of 14 from 3 and 6 of 8 from the line. Like all 3 of those shooting numbers for a double overtime, 45 minutes played, 46 points. And then on top of that, he had 6 assists as well. So he was moving the ball around.
Yeah, well, that brings us. I guess we have to do some segment, but the
What about player spotlight?
Player
right there,
spotlight
boom.
Yeah.
So Brown scores 20 points in the first quarter, 25 in the first half, goes on to score 46 throughout the game. He is this year's first player spotlight, and he played not just scoring. I mean, he had 9 rebounds, 6 assists, and 3 steals. So he had like an overall really great game, if I say so. Like it wasn't just scoring.
On the bright side, Celtics are the 8th seed right now, and the Washington Wizards are the 1.
Game.
So if we win the play-in game, we'll play the Washington Wizards first round. Who do you got? In 7 games, who do you got?
Probably Washington.
Probably Washington.
Come
Kyle
on.
Kuzma would turn into the next reincarnation of Kevin Durant.
Come on. Yeah,
I mean, I'm not too mad about this loss though. Like, yeah, it sucks.
No.
We're 0-1, but we didn't have Horford. We get Horford and Richardson back next game, right? I believe so.
We should hopefully, unless Richardson's still dealing with migraine.
He gets develops like a brain thing from it. Like, you know what I mean? I don't see
that would be terrible.
I think Horford's out of quarantine. Honestly, with our luck though, he probably will. Horford's out of quarantine tomorrow, I believe, right?
I have no clue.
He's out. He's out tomorrow.
Tomorrow. So
because he can play on Friday.
So you got to think I'm not too worried. The turnovers things, that will get better. Hopefully, if it doesn't, then I'll start to worry. Easy matchup against Toronto, though. If you look at the next 5 games for the Boston Celtics, you got to think. I actually got to look at the next 5 games for the Boston Celtics before I talk about that.
You want me to tell you right now?
Yeah, let's run through the next 5 games.
Ooh, this is like the podcast.
Yeah, there we go.
Justin telling Rob what to do.
What? No. Friday, the Celtics are at home
against the Raptors.
That's
and then we'll go 1-1.
Okay. Then we're in Houston on Sunday.
So that's another win. 2-1.
All right, dude, let's relax here because, we did this last year on the pre-games and post-game shows, and we only won one game.
What? So am I not supposed to assume that the Boston Celtics are going to beat the?
Yes. Don't assume. Yes. Don't assume.
Okay. 0-3. We're 0-3 right now.
Did you think that they were going to win tonight? I mean, obviously you did because you.
I did. Yeah, I did.
So
he put 200 down on it. He better thought he won. And then we're in Charlotte on Monday. Oh, that's a weird back-to-back. At Houston on Sunday and then at Charlotte on Monday. And then we have a back-to-back against Washington Wednesday in Boston and then Saturday at Charlotte. Then we go.
That's a pretty favorable schedule.
We'll
be fine. We'll be 7-2. We'll be fine.
Yeah.
Well, we were
pretty much
last year, so.
Yeah, well.
Don't mind.
You said, this is come on, it's just one loss.
Let's all just be happy. After one game, there's no injuries, not one injury, like a migraine headache and a recovering COVID-19 patient. Other than that, there's no injuries.
Dude, and our recovering COVID-19 patient just dropped 46. So.
Yeah, no, I'm talking about Horford.
Wait.
Oh, he came back. He just came back, so that means he recovered.
He's recovering. Horford's recovering.
Yeah, I know. Sorry, Seamus. I don't mean to keep talking over you.
No, you're good. This is all anything Celtics goes. But Jaylen Brown literally just had a legacy game at MSG. This is a game that he's going to look back at.
And they lost. Kills me.
Of course he freezes up right when he.
Rob,
what'd you say?
What'd
you say? Sorry, Seamus. Can you say that again?
Oh, this was a legacy game for Jaylen Brown, and he'll remember it forever.
True.
But we lost. I don't know how he'll remember it, quite honestly, but it'll be a positive memory. Hopefully,
he didn't look too happy after the game. He looked kind of defeated.
Well, I
yeah,
mean,
we
he was
lost.
probably gassed.
Well, he was defeated.
He almost played for damn near an hour. Like, I mean, he played how many minutes? Did he have? He had 45 minutes. Like, I mean,
45. And he hit that
Yeah.
Steph Curry shot.
Rough game overall. I mean, like we said, shouldn't have been in it. You got Horford and Richardson. Those are 2 out of your top 7 players, right? 7. Yeah, those are 2 of your top 7 players.
So no, go ahead.
No. I wasn't going to say anything important.
Well, I was just gonna say, how deep would the Celtics have gone if you do have Richardson? And would Pritchard and Nesmith even have played, or would they have played 11 minutes? Do you think it would have been different?
I think Pritchard would have been taken out of the game a lot sooner. I think Nesmith. I think they don't see the court. I don't think they see the court after tonight's game. Listen, I think Langford has clearly shown he's more NBA ready than Nesmith is at the moment. That can change, however. So I think you put Richardson in, you put Horford in, and that throws Pritchard. Nah, you keep Pritchard in. I don't know if Grant's gonna play the minutes he does.
I mean, Grant kind of showed out though. I didn't get to talk about this when you guys were there. So
Grant played great. Don't get me wrong, but you got to think with. I would have liked to see Cantor too, but with Horford in the lineup, you got to think like where's Grant gonna slide in maybe.
Yeah,
I think Cantor would have helped with our rebounding. Other than that,
Nowhere.
Cantor honestly probably, and Cantor's always good in MSG.
So how do you guys feel about Schroeder and his debut?
I liked him. I
He
mean,
might be the best addition. He might be the best addition of the offseason.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah,
Something
he
I
looked hard.
noticed was like every single time he shot it, it just looked like it went nothing but net anytime he shot it.
exactly.
I mean,
He
he shot
that
fluent.
last 3.
He did
Like it almost
shoot
looked like
poor.
he didn't even get it in. Like it just like went straight through, and I'm like,
He
Jesus
did
Christ.
shoot pretty poor. But I thought his passing, I thought his playmaking was something that went unrecognized.
Yeah, 8 assists off the bench. You don't see that often. Very Rondo-like. Very Rondo. Even his shot form, very Rondo-like.
Yeah.
We talked about this before the game. I mean, he's probably going to be like the point guard, like the guy. Like I know Marcus Smart's been advertised as the guy all offseason, and he'll start. But Dennis Schroeder, as we saw on the court with Marcus Smart, was the guy handling the offense. Like I just feel like that's going to be a trend all season long. And Schroeder, I mean, $5.6 million for this guy, ridiculous.
Yeah, no, totally.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, without a question, we knew exactly what we're getting out of him. He's a guy that can give you. He'll average 15 points per game for us, 15 and 8. That's what he's going to give us. He's going to be more productive and answer the call and what we need more than Kemba Walker did. So, that's then you look at Kemba. Kemba was awful in my opinion. Kemba had 10 points. He knocked down, I think, a 1-3 that was a good momentum play. But I mean, I would have liked to see us attack him more though. Like we didn't. I feel like we kind of, I think having Horford pulls Mitchell Robinson. Right, you want to talk about spacing? Having Horford pulls Robinson out of the paint for some plays that when Williams isn't in the game, and I think that would have helped us attacking more. I think we settled a lot, but other than I would have liked to see us attack Kemba more, get to the basket, draw some more fouls. But I can't be too mad. Like I said, I mean,
we did out rebound them actually. That's weird.
You look at Kemba's performance. Like, is there really any like positivity moving forward for the Knicks?
No, I think the only good thing with Kemba is that they got him for $8 million a year. It's kind of like there was no risk.
That was the
and
deal.
He didn't get hurt.
Yeah, I think it's a 2-3.
Yeah, because he got bought out of OKC. So
is it a $56 million deal?
No.
No,
So
that's never mind. I'm thinking of Tice. I'm thinking.
Yeah, no, he's making $8 million a year for New York. Is what they're paying.
Yeah, because he got bought out by OKC, and then.
But I mean, the way he looks like an $8 million a year player. I'm sorry, he does. Just like the fact that we got Horford for him, in my opinion, is a steal.
Yeah, especially because Horford looks fresh. Kemba looks like he's.
I hope COVID
rotten,
doesn't
but you see how Kemba still has those knee ice packs on his knees still.
Yeah, well, he didn't play the second overtime. Notice that was. I know Derrick Rose did step up in that second overtime for them, but Kemba Walker, an all-star type player, high expectations, hometown, they're expecting big things, and when he's sitting in double overtime in obviously, one of the bigger games of the year in the sense of, historic wise, maybe, and you're sitting in the second overtime. You played all game just to sit in the second overtime. I don't understand that. That's a concern. That's very concerning to me. And that should be concerning for Knicks fans as well.
Yeah. I mean, but you have Derrick Rose. So, like, honestly, I have a feeling they should have played Derrick Rose more, to be honest. I have a feeling he should have been out there I don't know if he was out there on that final, like the final play in the regulation time, but I feel like he should have been out there instead of Kemba.
He played 20.
Do you guys feel like this is
minutes.
a concern for the Knicks? Like, they have two aging point guards who, could kind of be interchangeable at times. Like, I think Derrick Rose was clearly better tonight, and I asked that question a week ago. It was like, is Kemba going to play over Derrick Rose in crunch time? And the answer is probably no. And now Derrick Rose isn't exactly a guy you're going to want to go out there and play 35, 40 minutes a night because he himself has an injury history. So that's kind of a concern for the Knicks moving forward.
So
but they're both better than Elfrid Payton.
Yes and no. They are and they're not. And I think because that's the same thing with Kemba in Boston, right? It's he was good for us, right?
Yeah.
But he wasn't good for us because he didn't fit what we needed. So I don't think the especially with signing Fournier, I don't think the Knicks need necessarily a Kemba Walker point guard. I think the New York Knicks could really use Dennis Schroeder. I mean, I think you could put a point guard that is a hustler and can move the ball, pass the ball, and facilitate on that team. They could be scary good. I think the Knicks' problem is that you give the ball to Randall to facilitate. I mean, Randall's not a facilitator. Randall's a great, great player, but he can't pass. RJ Barrett, he's a spot-up shooter. He can't pass. Fournier doesn't play make. Who's supposed to play make on that team? And it's not going to be Rose or Kemba.
Yeah, that's
Julius Randle, to be honest. Julius Randle was there. It looked like he was their point guard, to be honest.
Yeah, he had 9 assists.
Facilitating the most.
Yeah, no,
I kind of compare.
He had 7 turnovers though, so it's like, he had 9 assists, but he's turning the ball over almost as much as he's dishing the ball.
Yeah, Kemba had 4 turnovers too.
Probably.
I mean, everyone probably had a bunch of turnovers. I mean, the Celtics had 18 turnovers. The Knicks had 17. So I mean, this was just a sloppy game all around.
Let's look ahead to Toronto because I'm excited. I am excited for that game. It's
what?
let's look.
So, what do we have? What expectations do we have, and what do we need to do against Toronto that we didn't do tonight? What do you guys have?
Play relaxed. I think the Celtics rushed a lot of things tonight. You don't have somebody. You have somebody better than Evan Fournier. You have a Fred VanVleet, and Fred VanVleet can get hot with a snap of a finger as well. He's a guy you never want to go under a screen for. He can shoot shots out 20, 25, 30 feet out. He will shoot a shot and he'll make it. That's along with OG Anunoby, who's made a huge jump. I thought he had a great preseason. Pascal Siakam's still there. I think it's going to be a tougher matchup than what people think. I'm not saying we're going to go in and it's going to be a blowout, but I don't know. I think it'll be fun for the Celtics.
For sure. I think something the Boston.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
So real quick. Then something Boston needs to do, I think, is just kind of slow the offense down. I feel like we kind of got rattled. I would like to see us attack. Other than that, what do you got for us, Seamus?
I'm going to zag on this Raptors thing. I don't know if the Raptors are that talented this year. I mean, I think that's a game we could easily grab in front of the home crowd on opening night. I mean, we had one game with full attendance last year. It'll be full attendance, presumably again for opening night. Crowd's going to be, probably not on the level of MSG tonight, but somewhere close to that, hopefully. And if we can get the crowd going on Friday, that could be an easy get our feet wet win, I guess, if you might want to say that, and get us a win, period. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, it kind of felt like, I agree with you, Justin. It just felt like they were just rushing everything. It felt like they did not relax for 1 second. And this is going to be obvious, but Tatum obviously needs to be better than 7 of 30 shooting. Obviously, I don't think he's ever going to have that bad of a game again. But
do you know something that really? I hate to interrupt you, Ian, but do you know something that really pisses me off now that I think about it about Jason Tatum tonight is the fact that he shot really poorly, and honestly, I'm going to give him a pass because he was really great for us last year, right? So, if this is a one-time thing, I'm okay with it. You got it over right start of the year. It's over now. But too much something I won't accept is the fact that he had 4 assists. Is that essentially he virtually gave up trying to facilitate at all. And that is something that Udoka has been telling Tatum that he's got to work on, and he showed no signs of improvement at all. He took 30 shots, and he only had 4 assists. Like, my thing is that, listen, I've been saying it in the podcast. I've been saying it all off season, is that teams are going to start doubling him now. Teams are going to start tripling him now, right? He's going to get a help man in the paint. He's going to get arm barred. Team's goal when they play the Boston Celtics is to shut down Jason Tatum. And if this is how he's going to respond, he's going to have a tough season. If he can't play make, he's in for a long season. I'll tell you that.
I don't know. I mean, like, I agree with you, and like 4 assists is like unacceptable for 30 shots. But at the same time, when he was facilitating, they were just missing the shot. It felt like when he was passing the ball around and he was passing the ball around to people that were wide open, they would just miss it. At least that's what it felt like to me. I don't know. Maybe I'm just remembering wrong, but
I just think he needs to he just needs to play make, right? Whether it's a drive and a dump down, like don't get me wrong, it wasn't awful, right? He did try, and in Boston, I'm sure we did miss some open threes, but listen, Jason.
Yeah, I know that's not the biggest.
It's something
deal.
He doesn't realize. I don't know if he doesn't realize it or if he just doesn't get it, and maybe I'm wrong. Maybe what do I know? But I feel like in basketball, when you're starting to play make, the whole floor opens up because now they can't send a double because he's finding the open man. So Knicks have a good defense, mind you, but he's got to be better in the terms of if his shot's not falling, he's got to find a way to give us something, and it's got to be playmaking.
I wouldn't worry about Tatum though, because he's
no,
shown
I'm not
that he
worried
can
about him.
play
It's
make.
just
He's shown that side of his game. So the fact he came out tonight, and I'm not gonna blame him for the 7 of 30. I'm gonna blame him because he was 7 of 30, but the fact that he took that many shots and after just being that terrible for the entirety of the game, I mean, what did he start out? He was 4 of 13 to start out, and he finished 7 of 30. I mean, he was just hoisting up shots. I mean, it was the Jason Tatum MSG game that never happened. And I mean, I can't blame him for taking the amount of shots he did and maybe passing up some opportunities to play make at times, but he definitely has that to his game, and I wouldn't worry about that moving forward at all.
I feel like to end that first overtime, what do you guys think about this? I think
I was just going to talk about that.
Why did Tatum take the last shot?
I was so pissed off when Tatum took that shot. And I love Tatum. Tatum's my favorite player, and we've seen that he can hit clutch shots like that. But at the same time, you're shooting terribly in this game. You see your teammate Jaylen Brown has been on fire this entire night. Why do you not? And he was wide open that entire time. You could have easily passed it over to him.
Even Smart in the moment too.
Smart. Schroeder was wide open in the corner.
Do you think that's is that an ego thing from Tatum and maybe a relationship flaw? You think because I almost feel like if there's a mutual respect like there is, like they say, between Brown and Tatum,
I don't think it was a relationship flaw.
Yeah.
I feel like Tatum though should be willing to give up the ball in that situation and sit in the corner and say, "Listen, Jaylen Brown, this is your moment. You're that guy right now. Big stage. You can handle this. Go get a bucket."
You know what I think happened? I think that Milwaukee highlight played in his head at that moment. I'm being serious too, because I watched that and I was like, "This is a Milwaukee game."
Yeah.
He dribbles the clock out, sidesteps, takes it, took it on the baseline this time. This time just completely missed it, badly. I don't. If Robert Williams had a better chance at that tip-in than Jason Tatum did at that shot. Yeah. But I don't think I think it's more of an ego thing, Rob, than it is maybe a relationship. Yeah. I definitely see where you're coming from. I mean, there were 3 guys open on the perimeter at that time. And remind you, Smart and Brown just coming off of 2 back-to-back shots in regulation. So I think it was more of an ego thing, and he thought he had it.
Yeah, because if he hit that shot,
Brown?
we weren't going to talk about his shooting performance if he hits that shot.
I don't know about that. It was really bad. It was terrible.
I mean, yeah.
I said, even if he hit it, we probably would.
What if Brown asked Udoka to draw up a play for Tatum, and I am frozen?
No, we hear you.
No.
you're
Actually,
good.
this is as clear as
I'm
you've ever
frozen on
been.
mine. Dang.
No,
Well,
so
anyway, what if Brown
you're-
drew up the play himself?
yeah,
As like a decoy.
that's true. And
He
like you
played a
said, like
decoy.
in Jaylen Brown's defense, you gotta think, Brown's very willing to be like, listen, JT, you're that guy, right? Like I'm on, but I know your resume, and I know you can answer the call, and so go get a bucket. That's also a thing you got to applaud Jaylen Brown for. But me personally, if I'm Jason Tatum, you're having the game you're having, and Brown's having the game he's having, I'm passing that ball and I'm saying, listen, you got to win us this game.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I think that's it.
Bottom line.
Like we said, Boston, they play the Toronto Raptors on Friday at the home opener. I will be there Friday night, so I don't think I'll be on the post-game live. However, these three, I believe, will be handling the post-game live switch. So tune in back for that, guys. Before we close this out, what are your last remarks, thoughts on the game?
Twitter's going to be rough tonight.
Yeah.
It's going to be rough.
I like the effort. I really like the effort. Way better than last year already. I know it's game 1 and we still have 81 more to go plus playoffs, but I'm telling you right now, effort tonight was immaculate compared to what we saw last year from the preseason to the playoffs. I like it.
This team looked 100% better than they did last year, and I'm not watching ESPN until next week. So,
yeah.
Oh, they're brutal. They are so brutal.
So yeah, I'm just gonna boycott ESPN for the next week and a half. So.
Boycott ESPN. Come to Celtics Talk Weekly right here.
100%.
Really.
So, all right, this
post game show was about as more entertaining than First Take has been. So I mean,
that's just
you know what was more entertaining? He's closing out the show. I have to say it. Grant Williams was the most entertaining player tonight.